Welcome back, everyone, to Morning Line on this Tuesday. Nick Barris along with Holly Ladd. She's a holistic coach. Would you just tell people what holistic coach means?
Absolutely. So holistic basically means that we look at, it's not just one facet. You have to look at everybody's total life, every area of everybody's life in order for a complete wellness. The whole picture, holistic. So it's not just saying eat this many calories, you know, numbers, carbs, proteins, carbohydrates. It's how are you sleeping? How is your stress? How are your relationships? How is your joy? How is your outlook? I mean, it's everything. So we treat everything.
All right, it's a big picture thing. We can take your number, 737-7587. You were saying that you have something coming up this weekend at the library?
Yes, thank you. At the Green Hills Library this Saturday at 10 o'clock, I'll be doing a talk called The Basics of Holistic Health. So basically, we're just going over the 6 things that you can do to take a step towards better wellness, and it's all pretty simple.
And you have something else more specific to another group you're going to be talking to, you said, is energy?
Yeah, I have a talk called Eating for Energy.
Eating for Energy,
and I'm doing it towards people that work in nonprofits that get a lot of energy taken out of them, and teach them how to feed their selves through food and lifestyle to have more energy.
And all right, so I'm just wondering with foods, and you hear about, you know, superfoods. There's certain foods that, you know, if you just focus on and that you eat, it's just going to give you more energy. I don't know, and I don't know what they are. You always hear about berries, avocados, things like that.
You just mentioned 2 of them.
What are the big superfoods? Give me like the 10 biggies you like.
Oh, 10.
Well, I don't know if there's 10, but give me the biggies.
Almonds.
Almonds.
Almonds are fantastic.
Above all other nuts, you think,
above all other nuts, specifically for energy. The mitochondria, our energy production cells, love almonds. Blueberries, as you mentioned. Grass-fed beef and bison, buffalo, but grass-fed.
Grass-fed beef or bison, all right.
Spinach and other greens. Broccoli and anything in the broccoli family, so broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, all those kind of things. Let me think. What are the others?
You said green leafy, like kale and stuff like that would be as well. What about things like goji berries and stuff like, you know, some of these more exotic type of nuts or things that you sometimes see in health food stores, nuts or berries. You know what I'm talking about, goji berries?
I do,
I don't know a lot about them. I've Googled it a few times, and I'll buy them and throw them in my smoothie.
You know, anything that nature makes is a good thing.
Yeah, they say higher in antioxidants, some things.
They may be. Well, and the
like
things that I was
the
things that I was talking about have high antioxidants, and they have the nutrients that our body really needs to be energy efficient. So,
all right.
But really, the bottom line: eat a ton of vegetables, eat very little sugar and processed foods, and you're going to feel great.
Yeah. And then the things that people eat that maybe they can eliminate, and you hit on it. I had someone who worked with folks trying to lose weight in the past, and they said if these people were ones that went to fast food restaurants and all this, and we had to wean them off it, they can still go and get their Big Mac and fries if they want, but if they just start by cutting out the sugar soda or a sweet tea, that alone, even if you're still going there and you can't kick the fries and burgers right off the bat, you cut out your massive sugar. That's the biggest calorie and the sugars, right?
And it's the fat store. I mean, sugar just goes right to fat.
So just cut that stuff out first and foremost, right off the bat, and you'll notice a radical difference. Just eliminating sugar like that from your
I mean, sugar is the thing I try to take out of my clients' diets initially.
Now, there's sugars everywhere. I've seen there's a new movement among sodas. Now, there's diet sodas, of course, and unless it has stevia, I know that a lot of the artificial sweeteners, gosh knows what they do to you. But I've seen there's a transition from some where they're marketed a certain way, where you have the sodas that are sweetened with corn syrup, and then the sodas sweetened with pure cane sugar. Now, I understand they're both sugary, and they're both going to go straight to fat. But is there a difference in your mind between corn syrup and cane sugar in terms of health, one way or the other?
No.
It just tastes different, but they're both, you're going to say, probably something you don't want to do.
Yeah, I mean, the high fructose corn syrup, it just goes into your system a little bit faster, and it's more refined and it's more processed, so it's less natural than cane sugar. But bottom line, I mean, none of it is good.
Yeah, the key word you say too is processed. I mean, that's why I always think about nowadays, if I'm cooking with butter, I'm going to stick with butter, not use as much, as opposed to some of these margarines that I know may have lower fat, but anything that's processed, kind of, I think, I'd rather have it as natural as possible. Right?
Well, and I think this is the reason that you touch on it. You cook your own food. I mean, my push too is to get people to eat more food that they prepare, or that somebody that they know is preparing it, and you know what's in it. Because when you go out, you don't know what oils they're using, what if they're putting sugar in it, how much they're putting in it, how much salt. You don't have any control of what you're eating. But when you cook at home, you know, okay, well, there's a teaspoon of sugar or a tablespoon of honey or a, you know, you
control all that.
You have control. So learn to love to cook.
What do you think of those community food share programs where you sometimes pay a certain? Oh, you like that? I knew you'd like that. The ones where it's the co-ops, the farms, and the little local sustainability thing where you get. You pay maybe sometimes $20 a week or whatever, and at the end of each week you get a big basket from whatever the heck it is that's in season at that moment. Correct?
Yep. I have one. I belong to one. Okay,
tell me about yours, because I know a lot of people, and we have some folks that have done that here at the station. I was looking into it. It was more than I was going to use. You know, I know several people here are doing it though, and they love it.
It's a great way to get your vegetables in, and to support local agriculture, which is a good thing.
Yep.
It's going to be less travel miles. So that's a good thing.
I suppose. I mean, because what do you mean travel miles?
Well, the food isn't coming from California.
I got
It's not putting as much of an environmental burden on the system.
Right.
It's more organic, tends to be more organic, and it's seasonal, so it's got higher nutrients. It's better for you.
Right.
So, I mean, I do it every other week because I can't possibly do it every week, but. You know, you always know what's in season.
This is the best time of year too.
It is.
Just starting right now. I mean, the local berry farm I went to has just kind of cycled through their strawberries. So I went and picked some of those. Now the blueberries and blackberries are about to kick in. This is my favorite time of the year, the spring and into that right now.
Yeah, and now is a great time to take advantage of the local bumper crop and get a bunch of blueberries. I got a bunch of strawberries and stuck them in the freezer. Get a bunch of blueberries and stick them in the freezer.
I did that last year. It's brilliant.
It's wonderful.
It's brilliant. And blueberries, more than any other fruit or berry, I think freezes perfectly.
Yep.
You put it in there and it's just like a gumball.
Yeah.
And when it comes out, I mean, it thaws, but not like anything. Once it thaws, it's going to be mushier than it was when it was fresh. But if you throw it in smoothies?
Smoothies, muffins, pancakes.
Right. I mean, they're fantastic. Go out and, boy, I don't know if you've ever been to the Kroger or to whatever grocery you go to. In the middle of winter, if you go to buy a frozen bag of blueberries about this big, it's going to cost you $8.
Right.
Which is the nature of the beast. They're hard to find at that point. If you freeze them this summer, and it's so cheap. If you go out, and it's a fun afternoon, just go out to the berry farm, and then you can eat as many as you want while you're picking them.
It's great. That's great. Yeah, and Tennessee's got them all over the place.
Yeah,
so
there's berry. Yeah, just Google wherever you're at. You know, and while we were in the break too, we were talking about milk and stuff. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, just in terms of, first of all, I've always said the only white thing that's really good for you to eat is cauliflower.
Right? I like that.
I'm trying to think of other white.
Jicama.
Right. No, what? Jicama?
Jicama root.
Yeah. Okay. How do you cook a jicama root? I've seen those in the store. You eat
it like a carrot.
You're an odd bird.
I know I am.
Okay, so you'll go and buy a jicama and peel it, and it's like a turnip, right? It's a big turnip.
Yeah, it's a big root, and you peel it and slice it and put it in some water, and you eat it with a little lime juice and some chili powder.
Actually, I've done exactly what you said, and it's actually pretty darn good. But it's crunchy, right?
And it's very hydrating for the summer.
Really? So,
you know, watermelon and jicama and all these cucumbers.
So when you just have gone out for a long run and it's hot in the summer, besides you'll have your jicama with a nice big glass of milk?
No. Well, yeah, that's such a good pairing. Jicama and milk. Awesome.
Okay, what's a good milk and cookies? All right.
Milk and cookies.
All right, what's wrong with milk?
Well, I mean, the thing with milk is a lot of people have sensitivity to milk.
All right.
It causes some issues.
Like lactose intolerance.
Lactose intolerance, and just even sort of an insensitivity that may not even be digestive, but it's causing some issues that you're not really aware of. Milk, humans are the only species that drink the milk of another animal, and we're the only species where we drink milk past our growing years. Okay. So think about it. I mean, cow's milk is supposed to make a baby calf, turn a baby calf into a 1-ton beast. And so, you know, we don't really need milk. You know, calcium from a cow or a goat or a sheep. I mean, we don't really need milk. It does have some nutritional properties, but you can get all of that from your greens, you know, calcium in collard greens and kale and spinach and all that sort of stuff. And the thing with dairy is how the cows are fed, and again, what they eat, you're drinking. And I just think I don't have anything against milk. I eat grass-fed butter, I eat dairy, I don't really drink milk per se.
Cream?
Every once in a while. Every once in a while. But it's just something to be careful of.
Okay, not to overdo it. And yeah, some people, I have friends who just love milk when they're older. I very rarely drink milk anymore. I'll have maybe a milk and cookies once in a blue moon. It's not anything conscious, it's just not my cup of tea anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I don't really find it very satisfying anymore.
But I know I drank a lot as a child. And then these days, that's what you get in schools, your little cartons of 2% or whatever it is.
Well, I'd rather have a carton of 2% milk than a soda.
A soda, absolutely. All right, on that note, let's take a break. More phone calls, 737-7587, and our conversation continues with Holly Ladd right after this. Stay with us.